Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I came here. I wouldn't have been here or ended up here originally, probably. If Derek wasn't here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I won't be here. In the event that he's not here. That's my boy. Obviously, I got his back through anything. I think I've made that more than clear at this point, and I support him and support everything that he has. Moving forward as well. But my dream was to play for this team before he was a Raider, obviously. And at this point, I want to, obviously try to make this thing work and continue on doing what I'm doing here and, myself get better and obviously see the team grow and get better as well.
So what's going on, Raider Nation? And yeah, the reason why I'm here. Now, I know this isn't a live video, but I figured that I would go ahead and do this now, especially after hearing that. Raider Nation, I was wrong. Obviously, Davante Adams wants to be a Raider, and he definitely wanted to be a Raider before Derek Carr ever played here. Now, obviously, from that little snippet that I got from the press conference on Wednesday, it just the writing is on the wall. Now, I'd like to create a few talking points on this. For one, I want to admit that I was wrong. That I thought that Davante Adams would skip out of here after Derek Carr was pretty much jettisoned off the team. There have been reports now that have come out. I've actually read a few things on it was on my Instagram feed, but it was like through private messages through the fantasy league that I'm in, showing snippets of articles where the coaching regime knew that the writing was on the wall for Derek Carr by week 4, but they were very hesitant to pull the plug. Well, I can tell you how I feel about this Davante Adams news. Thank God, because I thought we were going to lose him. I figured that, if this coaching regime is willing to move on from Derek Carr, they did go ahead and spend all of this money on Davante Adams to bring him over here in the offseason. So, I'm sure that they were sitting there thinking to themselves, they probably, look, let's be real, man. There's probably things said in that locker room that we don't even hear. And I'm guaranteeing that we don't hear, but Davante Adams could have probably been voicing his displeasure toward the way, everything was being run, and in order to keep your players happy, you're going to have to cut loose of certain weight. Now, I gave Derek Carr all types of flowers on the Hardcore Raider channel and also here on the Raider Critique a couple videos ago, but it doesn't, I appreciate everything he did. And yes, he will always, he is my favorite quarterback, man. He is my favorite quarterback. But, I mean, let's be real, man. He wasn't getting it done. He brought a lot of continuity and stability to the quarterback position for the last 9 years. But there's been a lot of up and down seasons, Raider Nation. A lot of up and down seasons, and more down than up. And, with a losing franchise like what we've had in the last 20 years of, witnessing what this team and what this organization, has put together. Derek Carr was the most, stable thing that we've had here for the last 9 years. But he also wasn't getting the job done, not where we wanted to be. And dudes like Davante Adams are guys that can get us to where we need to be. People who perform in the clutch. And it showed against the 49ers with that diving catch. Week after week after week, this guy does come out and he balls out. Now, there's been a few games where he has been non-existent, like 4 receptions for 28 yards or so. But more often than not, Davante Adams shows up, and he's got the all-time league leading, well, not league leading, but he's got the all-time franchise record for yards in a single season, surpassing Tim Brown with 1,443. So that's saying something, Raider Nation. And Davante Adams was doing this with Derek Carr at quarterback. And Derek Carr, he had some really good games. Don't get me wrong, he had some really good games, but he also had some really bad games too. That Saints game comes to mind when I think of really bad games. So it's good to know that Davante Adams is gonna be a Raider. It's just like just like he said in the press conference, he was a Raider before Derek Carr was ever here. He's been a Raider fan all of his life, and he's always wanted to play for this franchise. Not to mention, he's also been paid quite a bit of money to do so. Now, I shouldn't have let my emotion get a hold of me, because that was stupid of me to do so, because here I am knowing that I don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid, but I always know that the corporate Kool-Aid is being drank everywhere else. And it's going to all depend on, follow the money. Davante Adams has been paid. Okay, Davante Adams is going to be here. And I'm glad he's going to be here. Don't get that twisted, Raider Nation, because I did not want him to leave. But worst case scenario, the way I think about things is like, man, we're about to lose Derek Carr. That dude came over here because of Derek Carr, especially after the first interview he had in the locker room when everybody first found out that Jared Stidham was going to end up starting and Derek Carr has been sent home and he is going to be benched for the next 2 games. And he put it out there, like, hey, man, Derek's my boy. I'm going to back him no matter what. But it's business as usual. And we could have read it either way. And I just happened to read it the wrong way. But I'm also not one who is, not accustomed to eating crow. There's been times where I've been right, and there's been a lot of times where I've been wrong. But at least I'm man enough to get on this camera and admit it. So Davante Adams is going to stay a Raider, and I feel great about it. Now, if we could just figure out a way to keep what we have now. We got to keep Waller. We really need to keep Waller. We got to keep Renfro. Chandler Jones can go. That's a really high contract. But with Derek Carr, and the contracts haven't even really come out yet. But with DC, whether we release him or trade him, that's $35 million on the books that we can use to build this offensive line and build this defense. Because I think that if anything, it showed, one, we don't have a quarterback problem. We really didn't have a quarterback problem. We had a quarterback price problem. Okay? And then number 2, any quarterback can get back there. We need to spend some money on the offensive line and spend the money on some defense. When Stidham came out there, he played with some fire up underneath him, and his team rallied behind him to put up that many points on the number 1 overall rated defense. And Davante Adams was a big part of that. So we got to keep Davante, man. We got to keep Josh Jacobs. Got to keep Waller. We got to keep Renfro. And we got to rebuild that offensive line and dump some money into that defense. But I salute Davante, man, for sticking with the team and sticking with the nation. Now, I got a question or two myself that I would like to ask a lot of you that I would like to see in the comments, man. I would like you guys to answer this question for me. And I'll also pin this in the comments as well to where you guys can give me some insight on, the question that I have at hand. I got quite a few of them, honestly. For one, Davante Adams staying a Raider. You know what I'm saying? Are you surprised or not surprised? And then number two, man, I would say, do you think that with Jared Stidham as our starting quarterback next season, if we are to rebuild the defense, will we do better than a 6-11 or 7-10 record? That is my question to you, Raider Nation. What do you guys think? Well, what do you all think? Raiderettes too. Give me your opinion over in the comments section and hit me up on Twitter, man, at InGun421 if Twitter is your thing, or you can also hit me up on Instagram at The Raider Critique. Now, I'm the Raider Critique, man, and I appreciate you guys for letting me share your screen for any amount of time. I greatly appreciate it. I'm 5 subs away from hitting my goal of 500. And I would absolutely appreciate if you guys could get me to that goal. But Davante Adams is going to stay a Raider. If we can figure out exactly how to keep Josh Jacobs, and, we've already got Waller and Renfro under contract. But if we can figure out a way to keep Josh Jacobs, I think Derek Carr's $35 million will help that out. We've already got Davante Adams on lock too when it comes to contracts. So it sounds like a winning recipe. If we could just fix that offensive line, man. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Raider Critique. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications for more Raider content right here on YouTube. And I appreciate all y'all, man.